have to come in. Then you realize the other one complains and say, oh, hata zangu zimeisha na hazijaisha. You have to be very, very technical there. So I discovered when I used to give them things, and you always start with the firstborn. Always with the firstborn. Something started, crossing over to the secondborn. The lastborn will always talk for himself.
Yeah.
Anarukaruka na manenda anachukua.
But wa pili ananyamaza.
Then when you're not even there, just instruct the firstborn. Wapatie wenzako chakula ama fruits. Yeah. The giving again is very, very, very influential. Let him give them. Na wanaona kwamba, they are part of the whole story. Mchungaji, I'm telling you, where families show openly, and you discover that the middle child is feeling it, that I'm left out and my space is taken. Be technical. Hata unaweza upatie mwenyewe agawe. He feels important. He feels important.
It's like trying to elevate them to that position they feel has been denied and has been taken away by these others. I think this one is just, these are some of the things that we never thought about. The small things that we do, but we don't know they're affecting our children.
They do.
And especially now coming to this season which is so unpredictable, so unique, something we've not gone through.
Very true.
The children, the parents who have been so busy throughout and leaving their kids maybe with the house help are now home. And maybe the house help is not around. You're finding that maybe you'll find that there is some change. Because the children are not so used to the parents.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're here. And as parents, we are not used to spending so much time
with the children.
And now we are here.
5 months on.
5, 6.
Yeah.
And we are already calling for the CS to open the schools irrespective of whatever is happening. And so now you can imagine the mix of emotions. The mental disruptions, the physical disruptions, everything has been disrupted. The social life. I'm just wondering, are the children all affected the same way? The children, because hata yule wa mwaka mmoja alikuwa na space yake, sasa hana. Alikuwa na attention ya kila mtu, sasa hana. Everybody is there. This child from 1 year all the way to the teens, they have been affected emotionally. But are they affected in the same way?
Not really. If you have a kid of 1 year, 2 years, we could put them in a bracket of 1 year to 10, for instance. Now, the way they would be affected by COVID-19 pandemic, this era, is quite different from a teenager, maybe from 11 years to 18. Because this kid who is 1 maybe to 10 years is still cushioned by the parent. They are still very well monitored by the parents. They are used to being, given instructions, and any query they have, and they ask the parent or they hear the parent talking, they take it as true. It's the gospel truth. So, like, if a kid of 3 years asks the mother, "Kwa nini Jemo haendi shule?" "Oh, hujasikia kuna COVID." "Oh, hata waliambiwa wakae nyumbani." That is satisfying for that kid. But when you start looking at the teenagers from the bracket from 11 to 18, above, they have been affected severely. This is somebody who was in school, and all of a sudden, I'm telling you the way you went for them that day. I still remember. Come for them before the school where my daughter is. We were told by 3. And all the vehicles were parked outside. And it was like the world was coming to an end. And I remember my daughter carrying so many books, not knowing how many months they are going to stay at home. And so much homework. They were given some assignments. And she was asking me, "Ma, Hii corona, yani iko serious hivi, kwani kumeendaje? And then I just get in the vehicle, and because I wanted to get away from the crowd as quick as possible.
Yes.
And that time we didn't even have the masks. We had not gotten to that level.
Yes.
So we were all mingling there, and every parent saying, 20. The commotion was so much. And then all of a sudden, there's a class that has not been given assignments. So the parents' frustrations. Now we came home. Now we thought that it would take 2 weeks.
Yeah, actually for me, it was like within 2 weeks, you're back to school.
And here we are with our children.
6 months later.
Yes, 6 months later, and things have taken a new turn. Remember, the books are so many. Like my daughter carries her books in a suitcase, assignments and everything. And after we were told, put on your mask and everything, she started reading, I encourage her, you'll be here just for 1 month, you continue with your assignments. Then after 2 months, she told me, Mom, I'm done. For how long are we going to read? So her emotions now started showing. She became restless, she became anxious. The posting that was going on the TV, people dying, especially abroad, and then it came now to our own country. The fear of my relatives getting sick, my own parents getting sick, and actually as people started dying and cases were reported, and I think at that time I lost an auntie and a distant cousin, a distant uncle and a cousin. And it was like, Mom, sasa ni kwenda mazishi ama niaje? Kwambia pana, we cannot go for that funeral. So you send what you have. And it's like, to her, you mean things are this serious? Then we are talking of a bracket of teenagers who had contact with their peer. And now they cannot freely interact with them. Yes. I mean, I literally would tell my daughter, unaenda wapi? Aya, Mom, umesahau umenituma kwa duka. Haya, chukua barakoa. Uko na mask? Anavaa mask. Then I become a bit apprehensive if she takes too long at the shop because of the crowding. And she's like, wow, hii ni jela? Ama sasa ni?
Yeah, even touching, you don't want even them to touch. For me, I remember one day I just went to the shop because I was so scared of sending the kids to the shop, because I'm like, what if they just go and touch the counter there? You don't know who else they touched. We were even scared of buying bread.
Yes.
Unanunua mkate and you're like, okay, the person who is selling me the bread. Can you imagine? I went to the house and literally picked something like a tray, tore the paper
very carefully.
What
the slices?
What's the slices in the tray? Put the paper on the trash bin and then washed my hands.
Wow!
Just to make sure whatever I have carried, this bread had been touched by so many people. The paranoia was setting in. We were getting so scared. We didn't know what to do.
Very true.
You're scared of sending this kid outside. And I think that one, the emotional, the emotional piling up of everything that was happening. You said that the teens are more affected than these younger ones, because the younger ones, we are monitoring them and they are used to being monitored. Now, we have now the social disruptions, as you have mentioned. There is a teen who cannot go out and meet with their friends.
It's true.
They were used to go maybe like swimming or even going out for walk with their friends. They could even visit each other. They could go to church and after service they interact all the way home, and they would even plan time to go and do their studies in this house. Now they're like people in a jail, in a cage. The animals out there are more free, than we are. Do you think these emotional these emotions, the way they have really been affected, will they affect these children in the future? Will we have something that is so challenging to this generation in the future?
Yeah. I think what we are trying to drive at, Mchungaji, is the issue of later years.
Yes.
in regard to what is happening right now.
Yes.
Because the emotional changes are so intense.
Yes.
At the same time, these people are feeling like all of a sudden their future has been interfered with. We need to reassure our youth every time that things are going to be okay. And I'm saying this, remembering very well that the worst thing that hit them were the Form 1s hearing that they're going to repeat a class.
Yes.
My daughter is in Form 2, and she felt so low when she discovered that she's going to repeat Form 2.
Yes.
I didn't know that she had already made a structure in her mind that by this year I'll finish Form 4. And then she chose me, you know, Mom, because I want to do medicine. And if medicine does not work for me, I'll do this. Medicine takes 7 years. This takes 5 years or 4 years. And after that, I need to know what year I'll be married, how many kids I want to. And I told her, you have planned all that. Yes, and now here's COVID.
Disrupting everything.
Yes. Now, if academically this year has been erased, can I erase it from my age? And I was like, now let's talk. And if she's in Form 2, and she can reason that much,
yes,
then her fear and anxiety is what her future holds.
yes.
Then there's this idea of this is COVID and it has come. Then you talk of a second wave. After how long, and how long will the second wave take? So this particular teenager has been affected mentally, has been affected socially, and is kind of, I had planned it all. I mean, after Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, I'm done. College, and then things don't look, as a certain anymore. And I discovered there's nothing as bad as a teenager who feels like I'm not in control of things anymore. They feel let down. So we have to keep on talking to them. And it's true. Some of them have felt like their future has been interfered with tremendously. I remember the other day on the TV, we had medical students in Nairobi. They feel, let down, shortchanged by being called back, and then the lecturers never showed up for some practical issues. And it was so bad, they felt like, when are we going to finish this? For them, it was just, a matter of 1 month, and they are done with the internship. My third born had only 2 exams to call it, just to finish his course in campus. Wow. And he felt like, no, the world cannot be this unfair. So it is something that has affected them tremendously. They feel like their future is uncertain. They do their research, and it's like, oh, every 100 years there's this pandemic. How sure are we that there isn't a sister COVID-20 coming, or 22 coming? You see, if our parents are scared enough of such a flu, where are we? So we have to keep on telling them all is not lost.
I think this is really a big challenge, especially psychologically for everyone.
Yes.
Because even as we are trying to reassure them, we are having parents who are overwhelmed, who are also struggling with their own mental, emotional challenges, with everything. Now, who is going to heal the other?
And you are right. Parents are also going through some mental issues, and they are quite challenging. Imagine somebody who was working, either self-employed or had a job, and right now he has no job and is the breadwinner of the family. Now he needs to come home, convince the wife that all will be well, and convince these children that actually there will be food on the table for you, regardless of COVID-19. Now the mental anguish of being seen like a useless parent, helpless parent, has really hit them hard. And this is where, again, now we have quite a number of families having, domestic violence. These kids watch their parents as they quarrel, as they exchange words, and it's not healthy for them at all mentally. So there's a big challenge here. if the parents are not careful, or if they don't manage their mental issues appropriately, then the youth are going to be affected. I tell you, if you listen to some of these youth, they'll tell you openly, I don't like the way my mother talks to my father. My father has just lost his job. Or he's getting half payment and is not working. And you see, we think a house is so big because it has rooms, it has what. These kids have been affected. And you see, maybe you didn't want to tell them openly that you have lost the job, but now they know. I think it's very important that you let them, you tell them what is happening, so that if they don't see the meals they were used to on the table, they will understand that actually my dad has lost his job. Now, wives again, or mothers for that matter, may not be patient with the same breadwinner, that's the husband or the father, and wives need to be patient. And maybe for those who have been housewives or did not have much to contribute to the family's budget, need now to help and do something extra. It is really kind of a circle whereby in day out you need to make sure that your mental issues as a parent are solved before even you are able to pay attention to your children.
Now, we have those children who have both parents. They're there. We have children who are from single parent families. They have been brought up either by the dad or they have been brought up by the mom alone for all their lives. Now, this parent is trying to balance their own emotions and even to take care of the child. What would you tell a parent who is now having these teenagers whom maybe he or she feels they have become very troublesome? I do not have time to watch out for them. I need to work extra double because I'm all alone. First of all, how are they going to handle these children? Because I don't think they can handle them the same way. Yes, there is that gap which is there.
It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge, and I'm glad you are talking about single parenthood for both men and women.
Yes,
because we always think that single parents are mothers.
It's only mothers, yes.
And their parents, they are men who are single parents.
Yes.
And I think there isn't a rigid solution for this. There isn't a homemade solution for this or permanent. This parent just has to try out all options. And I remember one time a parent coming to me, a single parent, and telling me she has had enough. She has 3 children. They are all teenagers by now, or by then. And she felt like she had tried her best, but things don't seem to work. Emotionally, they are giving her lots of problems. Some will go out and come quite late. And I told her, work out a routine. Agree with them and let them be part of that routine. When we wake up in the morning, what do we do? I mean, when I leave, because I have to bring food on the table, what will you be doing by then? Let's work out a routine. Being a single parent, and you know you are not even maybe earning enough. Let them know how much you earn. Not necessarily in figures. Let them know that you cannot.
Hapo nilikuwa niko like, okay, I give the children the payslip.
No.
See wataku blackmail.
They may not even understand the payslip as they read it in the first place. Because when you start up there, you think there's so much. Then you come down here, ma'am, nini pesa imefanyika hapa. They don't know about the gross and the net. What I mean is that just let them be aware that you're not a miracle worker. You are also going through issues. And let me tell you, because of this age parenting, you have to make these kids part of your life. And especially for a single parent. Even when you are stressed, and leo sijakuwa na siku nzuri, let them know it's not all rosy.
So you like let them know your life. Like
yes,
some of the things you're going through, you may not be able to open up some of the details
completely, yeah,
but at least you let them in. You open the door for your children to get in.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you'll be shocked. They will understand. Okay. If they have been, imagining that all is well, they might change their mindset and be able to get another perspective about life. You might even hear them say, we didn't know you are struggling that much. So it's good to open a window and let them understand what you are going through and tell them this week, for instance. Yeah. If you have been eating chapati twice a week, you may not even have the chapati this week. Yeah. If you will agree with me, let's just have meals that we can afford and save a little. Okay. They will understand. Okay. By the way, we might have forgotten the schools will reopen. Whether, okay, I'm not saying December working or November or October, but December will be in school. Yeah. Parents, have you spent all the school fees? We were taught to eat the school fees now. Alisema hakuna kurudi for the next two terms, and parents were happy. Yeah. What they saved? They spent everything. But as December comes about, we better save for January. January lazima watarudi. So this parent needs to tell the kids. You see, being a single parent means that we just have to bring our resources together and talk about them and live according to a certain boundaries. Okay. So that we can survive. Okay. You'll be shocked by the understanding of these children, and eventually they are going to appreciate, in fact, what you do for them if you're a single parent. And you may put them in some characters, values. You may instill in them values that you never knew. Okay. That they can hold on to even for their future. And now the parent who is, let's say it's a mother and she has a son. There is a father has a daughter. The gender. Handling the emotions of these children. Very true. How would you tell them to go about it? So that now they can feel this child is feeling the presence. Yes, it's amelelewa na a male figure, so that they do not go to the extreme of behaving like a man, or this boy goes to the extreme of behaving like a woman. Very true. They have their own identity as a man, as a woman, even as they grow up. How would you tell the parent to try and balance? I'm glad you are bringing that up, because I work in a school, a day school, whereby these issues are so rampant. Single parents are very many. Yeah. And in a class, you might come across a boy who calls himself Kabaa Gadoni Jail. Yes. And the issue here is because he wants to elevate his mother. Yes. I've been brought up by my mother. Yes. And I'm not going to register by any other name. At first, I found that very challenging for me as a counselor. But when you dig deep, this boy only talks of the mother all the time. Yeah. And eventually, should the mother not realize this or notice it early enough, it is true. He might grow up with some prejudice because there's no father figure in that family. So this lady needs to be very careful, because and then at one point, if it's a boy, he'll want to know who is my father. Yes. She needs to be very careful and balance issues here. And I want to mention, because we are on it right now, if she makes a mistake of living a double life, where the boy is watching, other men come in the house, it will even be worse for her. She needs to actually abandon other characters that she may have otherwise deemed important in her life for the sake of this young boy. Then, if at one time she gets challenges, emotional challenges from this young man, or behavioral changes that she may not understand, she might need to seek help from a reliable, respectable uncle, for instance, that the boy respects, so that this can work out. Okay. Because she cannot solely answer some questions are very intricate for her. Yeah. And if she finds like the boy is going a little bit offside, she needs to seek help from a respected grown-up uncle, who be her own brother, the mother's brother, so that now the gap can be bridged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it begin when she notices the problem, or it begins early in life of this child?
What she could do in the early stages of this child, as the child grows up, is to expose the boy, for instance, in family social gatherings, to people who are responsible. I'm saying that because I know whenever we have family gatherings, whether we have now this issue of single parenting or not, you have to be very careful, very careful. The friends or the people that your kid is mingling with. I'm talking of an uncle, I'm talking of a cousin that might be in this family and might help your own child. But again, you have to be cautious.
Yeah.
Because your child may be initiated into things that he never used to know before. So as they grow up in the early stages, let them just mingle. Then, as you go back home, you are able to see whether there is any behavioral change that is not acceptable. However, when they become teenagers, there are patterned questions that they need to know and explained to, and you may not be able to do that. That's where now you let in a respected figure. Okay.
So what if maybe the dad wants to marry or the mother wants to get married? How do they go about that? Because most of the single parents have hit that point whereby they want to move on with their life. They want to have a companion in life. But now the issue of the children comes in.
It's true.
They don't know that the children does not want to accept a stranger in their parents' life. And now that brings in some sort of a conflict. How would they go about it?
That's
in the dating scene when you are a single parent?
You are right. Now we may not solely condemn a single parent to get married. However, the balance is very technical. This life that your child has gotten used to is a life of two people. For instance, if you have one child, bringing in somebody else actually to them is a total stranger. And you need to prepare them by and by.
Okay.
We had an incident in our school whereby a lady just decided to get married. And one evening, the supposedly husband came to have dinner with the family. And the boy did not eat anything, looked at the stranger and told him simply to walk out. This boy was in Form 3 by then. And he's like, looked at the mother and asked, who is this? What right does he have to walk into a house? And the mother tried to, oh John, nilisahau kukuambia, huu sasa kutoka leo atakuwa baba yako. And the boy became violent. And you see, we were telling the mother that was the wrong way of doing things. Should this lady feel that she wants to get married, or the man for that matter, prepare this girl or this young man. Tell him openly that your life is lonely and you'd like to get married. And let them be part of the journey of this stranger who will walk in. And occasionally, if you are serious, let the man or the lady come and visit. Ask them their opinion.